Hi everyone, welcome to Babies with Knives. Today we're going to be doing a character creation demonstration for Capers. You'll find a character creation crash course as well as a systems crash course in our library. I'm your host Alice Peng, aka Lalla Twiddle on the boards, and below me is Brandon Powers.
Howdy, howdy, everybody.
So, Capers is a 1920s superpowers mashup game. So we're going to be making. Well, I was thinking about making an illusionist, magician, stage magician type character today. What about you, Brandon?
I am going to be making a kind of a homage to my favorite X-Man, which is Banshee, and so I'm just kind of looking at powers and abilities that would lead me in that way.
Okay. So for making a character in Capers, the first step that you want to go to is your concept. We just covered that I'm going to be making a stage magician type, and Brandon's going to be making a homage to Banshee.
Yeah,
Then,
and so for that on the concept part of it, what that's going to be is since Banshee has worked as a crook and a cop, kind of a history of being a crook and now on the side of the angels is the thought that I'm going with.
I was thinking of something along the lines of that the movie The Illusionist. I think I have the name of the movie right because there are two movies that I like a lot that are both in that vein. But yeah, so I'm looking at kind of being a bit of a ex-crook kind of thing, and um, having some being a now a businessman primarily with that kind of aspect going for it. So we'll come up with a name later on, and we have our general descriptions. Now we go to three anchors. Now the three anchors can be generated either randomly or you can choose from them. We're going to have one of us do a random character and Brandon's going to do the non-random, I heard?
That's correct. So,
Okay.
Alice, are you ready for your first card, or did you pull a deck out?
I'm ready for my first anchor since you already have a
All right.
cards out.
So, identity is going to be the King of Clubs. So
Okay.
that would be a black king, I believe, on the chart.
Mhm. So
And you
Black
are a
King,
trickster.
I'm a trickster. That fits very well with what I'm trying to do.
You
So,
enjoy playing pranks and fooling people, gain moxie when you get away with a noteworthy prank or get someone to believe something you make up.
well, cool. That works very well for the idea of going with the illusionist. And for my second anchor, that's going to be my virtue. So, Brandon, what do I have for my virtue?
You pulled an 8,
Okay?
which makes you honest. You do not lie ever.
Ever. So, I'm an honest trickster. This is going to be interesting. How do I play tricks on people while never, ever lying? Okay. This is going to be awkward. And for my vice, what about my vice, Brandon?
You have a 2, which
Two.
means alcohol.
I'm
You
an
are addicted
alcoholic.
to alcohol and rarely turn down a drink.
So I am an alcoholic trickster that has a tendency to always be honest. So I know I'm an honest drunk. We always wonder, are you a nice drunk? Are you a mean drunk? I'm an honest drunk, apparently. Okay,
So
what
I
about.
went and picked because there's two different ways that you can approach it. And so for my identity, I went with being a teacher, going to the fact that Banshee was always a older member of the X-Men other than Wolverine, who got aged a lot over the years. But Banshee, when the all new, all different X-Men came out, he was kind of the oldest one of them. And you seek to educate those around you, gain moxie when you better someone with thoughtful teaching. My virtue is going to be commitment. You are loyal to an organization, small group, or family and do whatever they ask of you. And so that would be, all sorts of different commitments from Interpol to the X Men that Banshee has had over the years, or his students when Generation X was around. And my vice is reckless. You take huge risks without thinking, which kind of goes along with the way that he was. I looked at some of the other ones, but none of them seem to really fit as well as just kind of like I'm willing to throw myself out there without really concern if it's going to better things.
Cool. For me, by the way, for anyone following along, I went and put in my description of being a stage magician, my background of being a crook turned businessman. Uh, and you can continue to elaborate, which I usually will do later on. And for mannerisms, I came up with the mental image that he's going to be pretty friendly, but he's also going to be very methodical and intentional with his body language, always being very aware of how he presents himself. So after,
Next, we're on to traits.
yes,
So
so the
there's
trait.
6 traits in the game. You have charisma, agility, perception, expertise, resilience, and strength.
So for these traits, we will have one trait that is a score of 3. For me, I'm going to put that as my charisma. And then we have 4 traits that are going to be at 2. So I think I'm going to put that perception, that agility, expertise, and strength. And I have one trait that's going to be a score of 1. So I'm going to put that in my resilience. What about you, Brandon?
Looking at them. So with the concept that I'm going with, I don't see a need necessarily for one to be bad or one to be a lot better than the others. So at that point, it's really interpretive. So charisma, agility, perception, expertise, resilience, and strength. Um, I don't know. Strength seems like it could probably be the worst out of them without being a real problem.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was thinking that same thing for me, that strength being the lowest would probably be the easiest out of those. But given the image I have, I feel that my character would be stronger than he is resilient. So,
yeah, and so resilience or expertise is kind of like where I am balancing
mm-hmm.
on which one should be the top. Charisma, agility, perception, those I can see all being standard.
I would say
Um,
expertise for you.
I'm kind of leaning that way, even though being on the tougher side does fit with some of the things that Banshee has done. But for a normal person being on the tougher side.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so 1 strength, 3 expertise, everything else is at 2.
Okay. So after that, we deal with assigning our trait defense. This is what people are going to need to hit in order to get past your defense on this. And this is going to be determined based off of your number. So for 2s, it's going to be a trait defense of 9. So I'm going to go through and put 9 on these. So they're going to have to draw 9 or higher in order to get me on that stat. For a 1, it's going to be 8 or higher. And for 3s, it's going to be 10 or higher. That's covered.
Then we
Next.
get skills, which are going to be we get 2 plus our expertise score in skills. And as we've defined on a previous video, they give you an extra card draw when you're dealing with something that uses that skill.
Yes, so for me, I'm definitely taking sleight of hand. What magician would not have that? I'm also going to take mechanicals, um, diplomacy, deception, and I've actually dealt with a few people who are able to deceive while being very honest. So I think that this would be an interesting way to try and play it. I've been thinking about that. But yes, diplomacy, deception, mechanicals, and um, and sleight of hand. Actually, I think I might want to take senses instead, because that way I can, yeah. So I'll take senses and sleight of hand. Those are my 4 because I get 2 plus my 2 points of expertise.
For me, I'm looking through this list and trying to figure out the best way that I can represent the concept that I'm going with. So
I think that you probably would have athletics and acrobatics.
acrobatics I wasn't sold on. Why are you leaning into that?
Because in some of the comics, he has the whole, he soars through the air, and that seems kind of like it would be an
So that's
acrobatics
going to
thing.
more be like tied on a power check, isn't it?
Well, Yeah, yes and no. I mean, he literally is soaring through the air through gliding at times, right? Not just using straight up powers. And so, if you're looking at gliding, gliding in real life is usually associated with acrobatics more than athletics, though, it can be athletic as well.
Yeah, I would see acrobatics as much more Kurt Wagner.
I can see that. Maybe athletics then, because it does take a lot of strength to be gliding.
Yeah.
Holding that the Superman arch on your back it takes quite a bit of work for anyone who tries to do that for lower back workouts. And then for you, I would probably say sense is an important one.
I know, there's so many
In
important ones that I just do not have the points here.
How many do you get?
So I get 5 because expertise is my number 1. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at athletics, deception,
Mhm.
insight,
Mhm.
sense, and stealth.
Those are the ones that I would pick out for you too. I was about to bring up insight.
I really want fisticuffs and guns, but I feel like I'm doing well enough
Mhm.
that like I could say, I know my way around those a little bit. But these seem to lean more into the skill aspect of the character
Yeah.
than just being in a fight type environment.
I certainly don't know the character as well as you do, but Humanities is another one that from my
That's the one that I crossed off,
yeah,
and I really wanted
I
it.
Fisticuffs and Humanities are the two that I saw that are missing out of the character that I've had a fair amount of exposure to.
I completely agree with that too.
Okay.
But yeah, humanities was the last cut. Fisticuffs and guns got cut off the short list real quick.
Mhm.
So
You don't get that many skills in this game.
no, and I've got 5, which is really good, but
Mhm.
still,
Yeah,
it's
unless
not
you start
enough.
getting into superpowered expertise, which is a whole other deal. So now, speaking of superpowered, we are going to go to step 7, which is perks, powers, and trem gear.
A
I'm
minor power at power level 2, 2 minor powers at power level 1, or 1 major power at power level 1.
Thank you. I got all tongue tied.
There you go. So I'm going to go ahead, and my first power is going to be flight, which is a minor power. And so when you pick a power, you get 3 boosts. So first of all, what flight standardly does is at rank 1, you fly at a speed of 30 feet. You can carry a maximum of 30 pounds of gear with you. So there's a cloud boost. You fly quickly through an area of dirt and debris, kicking it up. This creates a cloud of debris that lasts for 3 rounds. That sounds very much like a sonic, blast that has gone through and kicked up. So I'm going to go with cloud boost.
Okay.
Damage boost. If you fly at your target first, a successful melee weapon or fisticuff attack against that target deals an extra 2 hits. That's real tempting. Knockdown boost. This turn, you land with such force that creatures within 20 of you are knocked prone. And speed boost, you can fly at double your speed. I think I'll go with damage boost and speed boost.
Okay.
That I can come in and hit somebody real hard, and I can fly pretty fast when I need to.
For me, I'm going to be choosing illusions, which is going to be a major power and therefore I only get it at level 1 to start with. So major power, what it does is you create realistic illusions from nothing. And the effect of it at rank 1, you can create a visual and auditory illusion that fits inside a 10-foot cube. Um, and then I get to choose a couple boosts, as we talked about. So the boost options are adornment boost, extend boost, movement boost, physicality boost, range boost, and size boost. So we get 3, as I recall, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless your standard power says that you pick a boost and that's
Right.
what it's actually getting you.
Yep. So I'm going to take illusions, like I said, and I think I'm going to go with extend boost, movement boost. So what extend boost does, the illusion persists until you stop using the boost. You can alter the illusion on your turn as a free action. For movement boost, when you create this illusion, you can program it to repeat certain movements and sounds for its duration. And so with extend boost, I'll be able to alter that command as well during that. Um, I'm considering physicality boost, though I do like the idea of ranged boost, making it further away. But, I am a stage magician, so I'm kind of close quartered, so I'll go with physicality boost. And what that means is that the illusion can interact with and even attack one creature or other physical object of your choosing until the beginning of your next turn. The illusion attacks using your trait, skill, and appropriate to the attack type. If you hit, the attack deals color plus one hits and damage. It does not deal damage based on what the attack looks like. So I think that also, beyond just using it to attack, it would seem good to be able to have it physically interact with things. So I like having that idea. So, movement and physicality. Have you chosen your boost, Brandon?
For my second power, I'm going to go with Sonic Scream.
Mm-hmm.
And so what Sonic Scream does is that it's a power check versus the target's body or mind. And so unfortunately, my Sonic Scream is not going to be that good because I only get one card on it without burning Moxie, since that I will be power level 1. But I'll be leveling my Sonic Scream up, and it's probably exactly where my first level up would go, to at least get me 2 cards on that pull. So these boosts aren't going to be that helpful because basically I'll take that one card and I won't draw it as soon as I use a boost, unless I burn Moxie. So with that in mind, and knowing that I'm not going to be able to hurt people with boosts all that well, I'm going with some of the other and more flavorful ones that are in here. So the first one was Volume Boost. Instead of the standard effect of, attacking and doing damage, I can, until the beginning of my next turn, my voice can be heard clearly up to a mile away. It can also be heard clearly up to on the other side of 2 feet of concrete. That one seems really flavorful and cool. Shatter Boost, instead of the standard effect, I shatter all fragile objects within 10 feet. Alternatively, I can shatter just one object within range. And then the last one was Deafening, which is going to be pretty hard to pull off. If you hit the target, you also deafen it for 1 minute. So that one's not likely to happen, but I was really out of the options to use something because everything else is also going to be on pulling things. That one seemed like it would be at least the most flavorful for him. So I've got Flight rank 1, Sonic Scream rank 1. Alice, you've got Illusions rank 1.
Correct. Because I chose one major power instead of 2 minors. So
And go ahead.
now we go to step 8, which we start going into our derived characteristics. This is going to be for body, and your body is going to be how hard you can take in physical combat, what you can soak up, and that's going to be based off of your agility defense plus any powers. So my agility defense is a 9, so my body is a 9. Easy. What's yours, Brandon?
I'm at the same 9.
Okay.
Neither one of us, I think, took any powers that affect the body or mind. So.
Okay. Then mind, your character's mind score is equal to their perception defense plus any bonus powers. So mind for me is going to be defense of 9 again.
Same here.
Awesome. The next one, you actually need to do a tiny little bit of math. This one's hits. So your character's ability to actually take damage. This is essentially your hit points in other games. Your maximum hits equals to 4 plus in parentheses 2 times your resilience score plus in parentheses 2 times your charisma score. So my charisma score is 3, so 3 times 2 is 6. My resilience score is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 4 is 14. My max hits is going to be 14. Easy.
I'm going to be at 12, so because my charisma is a 2 and my resilience is a 2, so I'm not quite as tough as you are.
Charisma lets you be tough in this game. It lets you kind of just let it roll off your back, apparently. So the next one's going to be speed. So base speed is going to be 30 unless you have any powers that take away or give you bonuses. So 30 is what I'm going to be moving at. It's going to be 30 feet. And what about you, Brandon? Any changes, or are you still at 30? Great. So
if I fly, I can fly faster, but
everyone starts at 3 Moxie. We max at 5, and then you spend it during game. So we have 3 Moxie. And after that, we deal with gear. Now, in theory, your character starts with about $150, and you can purchase some things. We're going to skip that. It's, pretty normal stuff. You're going to get cars and clothes and buy assets and such like that. That's it. And that is how you make a Capers character. Quick and simple.
Now, if
Anything?
you wanted to make an exceptional instead of a caper, instead of picking those powers, you would have instead taken some perks. And so for an exceptional, they choose 2 perks, and they can swap some of those perks out for trem gear if they want to during character creation.
And trem gear, like covered in the other video, is going to be gear that simulates powers on a limited basis. Well, that's it. So thanks for watching, and have fun playing your next caper.
For our other videos, definitely check the links down below, as well as the ongoing Kickstarter for Capers Off-World that's going on right now by Nerdburger Games. Please check us out on Facebook and Discord, links below. And if you want to see more content like this, click on our Patreon and go ahead and become a patron of ours. Come back next time to get honed.